kind of is a good segue to what we were talking about last night is like, my friend Steve Kelly once said to me, like, bartenders are the aristocrats of the working class. And we were just talking about this in a couple scoops last night of like, I've always cited a guy that trained me how to bartend in Kansas City. His name was Mark Nidenberger. Still does it a couple days a week, I believe, down in Westport, and he has his landscaping business now and all that. But, much like sports, much like athletes, you have to get hazed. And, you said you had a guy that kind of, you kind of had a guy that taught you,
Yeah.
And one of my hiccups out here has always been is like, every bartender is the best bartender ever. And nobody else can be taught anything.
Yeah.
And it kind of drives me nuts because I'm like, really? Because you know everything,
Well, I've always said, you know this. You know this. If you place bartenders on a scale of 100% to 0, I always say I'm 49%. Because I don't ever want to be at the top half, and I just want to be just barely passable. Even though 49% isn't passable, but just below the 50 percentile.
Right.
Because I don't want anybody to have any expectations when they come into me.
I want to have expectations.
Well, that being said, yes, of course. But the first time you meet me, I don't want you to have any expectations.
Well, and this is, circling around the subject of hospitality, of which we were talking about last night. Again, it's a very cliche phrase, not just in the bartending world or the day drinking world, but it's, you never have a second chance to make a first impression.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of bars in this town. There's a lot of bars in this country. There's a lot of bars in the world. And, there's a lot of places that we can spend our dollar, our coin. And, you go out in these neighborhoods and you see people and it's like they're on their phones. We're all guilty of it in some capacity.
Of course.
They don't look like they want to be there.